Okay, hi guys. I'm going to do some videos on more questions by Mike Smith. And if y'all are watching, you know that Mike Smith throws out all kinds of questions. So you can see that you can just about ask a question about anything, and I will do a video about it. If you would prefer that I just answer it in the email or the comment section, then tell me that. But if you would like something more in-depth, and you would rather I did a video about it, because I tend to give more details in my videos than I do when I write, because well, it's just how it works. Okay. So this is question by Mike Smith. Are ETs using humans in order to create a hybrid race / hybrid children? And we'll do that one first. Well, technically, ETs, from your perspective, have been creating hybrids since the human race started. That's really how it started. And it started a lot of different ways. There were everything from using the beings that were already on this planet to create more beings that were humanoid and eventually became humans as you know them. Then there were parts along the way that they kind of stopped messing with them, so to speak. And that would be like what you think of as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Those beings are definitely were seeded with genetic information that created the race, I guess you would call them, of the Bigfoots that you think of and hear about. And then they really kind of let them be. I don't think they've messed with them in a while. They pretty much have stayed that way for quite a long time. And then there were all kinds of genetic seedings or hybridization, however you want to put that, because it was done in everything from like in vitro to actually mating with, as you think of mating with the humans at the time, and doing kind of tweaking it, upgrading it. It wasn't as simple as what a lot of people say. This has been going on for, well, let's say a couple 100 million years. So a lot of things have happened over all of that time, with a lot of different alien entities doing a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. So it's been going on for a long time. There are civilizations, so to speak, that kind of say they were the primary seeders of the human race. When I look at the big picture, though, over the whole time, I don't think that there was one particular alien civilization that were primarily responsible for humans as you know them now. I think there were a lot of different alien civilizations that have been involved with everything to do with everything that's on this planet. There was seeding going on with all of the plants and animals too, that came here and created. Like I've said before, the planet, the entity that said that she was going to be the planet Earth was the planet Earth, and there were a lot of other creators that became involved in what she looks like now from your perspective, using the energy, so to speak, of the planet Earth. So there's been a lot of seeding or DNA manipulation or hybridization or whatever you want to call that. There's been a lot of that all along. That it has been here since humans began, just about, and yeah, since humans began, and of course it still goes on. Now, because humans have become so-called civilized, and the internet is out there, so there's a lot of people that talk. There are many different ways that that's done, from abduction and really some pretty horrendous stories to a nicer version, but the beings that are the human beings, they agreed to all of that. On some level or another, it's all been agreed upon. So, are there hybrid children? Yeah, absolutely. Her next question was, will these children be in 5D? Well, some of them will, and some of them will be in 4D, and some of them are on their way to 3D. Just about any kind of story that you can think of is going on. All of them are. Not one or the other, which is a real problem with human beings. They like say, okay, well, this is the story, and we're sticking to it until we're proven wrong. Well, the problem with that is that all the stories are right. It's just from a different time period. I think I saw a story recently that they found something, some human, something to do with old humans, archaeological dig in California that proved to be 150,000 years old in California, which predates just about everything. Now, in reality, if they could find it and knew how to test it, there would be proof of a lot further back than that. And you all have heard of the Atlantis stories and the Lemuria story, and I think, yeah, there were 6 major like civilizations that were, from your standpoint, considered civilized, and they kind of went to put, because of their creationary processes, and I think there were like 6 major ones on the planet before this one. This one's the 7th, if I can, thereabouts. And but they were filled in with all kinds of other cool stuff. So yes, there are hybrid children, and yes, some of the children will be in 5D, and some of them, there's just every kind of story you can imagine. Okay, and then the next question is, do you know which, if any, of the human parents will interact with these children, and under what circumstances? Again, that is up to the individuals involved. So, if the parent is set up the story that they're having, the game that they're having to remember and interact with these children, then they will. Absolutely they will. If they don't wish to, and they want to keep that in amnesia, then they probably won't remember it until they're well into 5D vibrations. But they'll do it at whatever stage they want to do it. It's kind of like you walk through life and you decide, you know, what kind of hair you're going to have, what kind of person you're going to be, what kind of job you're going to have. Well, all of that stuff is very complicated and complex, and if you were to break down your individual life, it's very complex. Well, you're talking about millions of years with a lot of very complex humans and a lot of very complex aliens and alien situations and civilizations. So it is a much bigger story than what humans think it is. There's a lot more going on, and there has been for a very, very, very long time. And if you're into finding out the true history of the human race, if you want to know it just like immediately and just know it all, then you're going to know about it. You're going to remember it all in 5D as you get into the higher vibrations of 5D. And I just mean once you're out of the transitional vibrations from 4 to 5, you'll just know it. Like you'll hook into the knowing of all things. If you want to investigate and figure it out and learn it from this person or that person, then that's a 4D experience. And it'll be a very cool one. But keep in mind that if you ask somebody in Germany what is the history of the United States, that's going to be a very different story than if you are in a class in United States learning about the history of the United States. Remember, everything is from the perspective of whoever wrote the book, or whoever approved the book, or the group, civilization, or area that they're speaking from. And the same thing is true when you're dealing with 4D. The history of the planet and humans is going to be very different from the perspective of a human being that has been here versus an outside civilization that has been watching, or another civilization that has been interacting very closely in the process of creating what you now know as a human being. Okay? Does that answer that question? Mike Smith, does that do it? If not, ask me to clarify. Make sure you tell me if you want a video or just to tell you. Okay? That's it. Huge hugs all around. I love you all so much. Bye-bye now.